Today, let's talk about something that is both simple and profound, something that gives us strength, confidence, and an unshakable sense of self. That is the power of living with truth, honesty, reason, and love. When we truly live by these values, we stand in our own light, unafraid, unwavering, and unbreakable. When we know we are guided by truth and reason, when we act with honesty and love, no one can manipulate us, no one can control us, and no one can make us doubt ourselves. Because we know, deep in our hearts, that we are standing on solid ground. Firstly, let's dive into the strength of truth and honesty. Truth and honesty are the foundation of an unshakable life. When we live truthfully, when we say what we mean and mean what we say, we remove the burden of deception. We do not have to keep track of lies. We do not have to live in fear of being exposed. Instead, we walk in the open with nothing to hide and nothing to fear. But more than that, honesty with ourselves is the greatest strength of all. Have you ever noticed how easy it is to deceive ourselves? How easy it is to tell ourselves comfortable lies instead of facing difficult truths? But when we choose to be truly honest with ourselves and with others, we become free. Truth is not always easy. It requires courage. It requires facing things as they are, not as we wish them to be. But when we commit to living in truth, we develop a confidence that cannot be shaken. No one can manipulate an honest person. No one can control a person who does not deceive themselves. Because when you know your own truth, when you are clear about who you are, what you stand for, and what is real, no one can make you doubt yourself. Alongside truth and honesty, there is reason. The ability to think clearly, to question, to analyze, to seek understanding. Reason is what protects us from being blindly led. It is what allows us to discern between what is right and what is merely convenient. When we live by reason, we do not accept things simply because they are told to us. We think, we reflect, we weigh the evidence. We ask, does this make sense? Does this align with my values? Is this truly right? And when we live this way, we become immune to manipulation. No one can control a person who knows how to think clearly. No one can deceive a person who asks questions, who seeks truth, who refuses to be blindly led. But truth and reason alone are not enough. Without love, they can become cold, rigid, and harsh. That is why love must always be our guide. Love, real love, is not weakness. It is not about pleasing everyone or avoiding conflict. Real love is courageous. It speaks truth even when it is difficult. It holds people accountable with kindness. It sees the humanity in others even when they fail. When we live with love, we do not let anger or resentment control us. We do not let fear dictate our choices. Love allows us to stand firm in truth without becoming bitter. It allows us to seek justice without becoming cruel. It allows us to remain strong without losing our compassion. When we live with truth, honesty, reason, and love, we become free, truly free. Because think about it. What is it that allows people to be manipulated? It is fear. Fear of being judged, fear of rejection, fear of losing approval, fear of facing uncomfortable truths. But when you know who you are, when you live with integrity, when your mind is clear and your heart is strong, what is there to fear? No one can guilt trip you when you have done nothing wrong. No one can confuse you when you think clearly and seek for truth in everything. No one can control you when you act from love instead of fear. This is real power. Not the power to control others, but the power to be uncontrollable. The power to live on your own terms. The power to walk through life with confidence, knowing that you are guided by truth, honesty, reason, and love. And here is the most beautiful thing. When you live this way, you feel truly positive about yourself. Not because of what others think of you, not because of external success, but because you know deep inside that you are being true to yourself. You don't need approval to feel worthy. You don't need validation to feel strong. You don't need control over others to feel powerful. Your power comes from within, from the fact that you are honest, you are rational, you are loving, and you are true. This is the kind of self-worth that can never be taken away, because it does not depend on anything outside of you. It is rooted in your own integrity. Live in truth. Be honest with yourself. Think clearly and question fearlessly. And above all, let love be your guide. When you do this, you will be free. When you do this, you will be powerful. And when you do this, you will walk through life with a confidence and peace that no one can take away.